should be transitioned into loan scheme, unquote. I, Lapo Marinda James, a proud member of Buena House Level 100, stand firmly in support of this motion as the principal speaker. Mr. Chairman, before I proceed, permit me to clarify key terms in this motion for the benefit of the doubt. Allowance is a sum of money that is given regularly, typically for trainees for their personal use. A loan simply means a loan is a sum of money that is borrowed from bank. And must be repaid with an interest within a specified period of time, while transition means a change from one state to another. Mr. Chairman, my opponent may attempt to mislead us by arguing that allowance sustains teacher trainees. Indeed, that is true. However, let's ask ourselves, how much is this money? What can 150 Ghana cedis do? The reality is that allowance is insufficient, while loan scheme present more accurate solution. I will now reinforce my argument in solid facts and logic. Mr. Chairman, firstly, loan scheme ensures that financial resources are distributed based on individual needs and merits, rather than giving it out as a general allowance in all trainees. Loan scheme ensures that financial resources are allotted based on needs and merits. This means that trainees who actually need financial assistance can receive support rather than giving a blanket allowance to everyone. With this system, loan can be tailored to individual circumstances, ensuring a fair and more responsible distribution of resources. Mr. Chairman, secondly, implementing a loan scheme fosters a sense of accountability among teachers, trainees, as they will take this education more seriously, knowing they must repay the funds. Let us be honest, it is not fair for teacher trainees to receive allowance, while other institutions, students such as medical students, business students, engineering students receive nothing. Are we saying teacher trainees are weaker or less capable of taking responsibility for their education? Certainly not. Certainly not. When an individual invests in their education through a loan, they are more likely to take their training seriously, knowing they must repay this investment in future. This creates a sense of responsibility and commitment, leading to a higher retention rate in the teaching profession. Mr. Chairman, thirdly, a loan system encourages financial responsibility among trainees while preventing the misuse of allowance. Mr. Chairman, when money is handed out freely, it is often taken for granted. Many trainees misuse their allowance instead of investing in their education. However, a loan system will teach financial discipline. Trainees will think twice before wasting money, because they know they must account for it in the future. In life, we all take loans, whether for business, education, or personal development. Are we saying teacher trainees should be exempted from this reality? Certainly not. A loan scheme will prepare trainees for the real world by installing a sense of responsibility and accountability. Mr. Chairman, transitioning to a loan scheme will expand access to teacher training as the current allowance system limits the number of students who can be admitted. The current allowance system limit the number of students admitted in College of Education. The government can only afford to sponsor a few, leaving 1,000 of qualified students behind. But with a loan scheme, the doors of education will be open wide. Every student who dreams of becoming a teacher will have the opportunity to do without financial barrier. How can we claim to be solving Ghanaians teachers shortage when we are restricting access to teacher education? A loan scheme ensures that more students can be trained, leading to a better staff in our schools, especially in rural areas. Mr. Chairman, fifthly, the government will be able to redirect resources to other critical areas of national development, such as improving school infrastructure, enhancing teacher salary, and providing better teaching materials. Every year, the government struggles to pay allowance, sometimes delaying payment for months. Why? Because the funds simply aren't there. Imagine if these millions were invested in improving school infrastructure, providing modern teaching materials, and increasing teacher salaries. Wouldn't that benefit everyone in the long run? By transitioning a loan system, we are not just securing our own education, we are securing the future of generations to come. Mr. Chairman, a loan scheme is not a punishment but a path to self-sufficiency. It promotes fairness. Thank you.